The Laws of Ascension, chapter, Lorik tells him before releasing his sword aura. It goes through his body, destroying his soul while not harming his flesh. A few moments pass as Lorik stares down at his corpse with a cold gleam in his eyes. This was the first time Lorik wanted to kill someone. The other times he did so out of need. As a kid, he needed to kill those 3 slavers to save his sister. On his way in, he needed to kill the guards. But he never wanted to kill anyone until now. "Master," Nixfang says, speaking to his soul and snapping him out of it. Lorik gets up before grabbing the guard's keyring. He has more than the one Lorik has, and he assumes he has the key to the cell. He walks up to the prison cell holding Vera, Sarah, and Rowan. After trying a few keys, he finds the right one and unlocks the cell. He walks in and sighs upon seeing them. They're all wearing bags over their heads. They each have their hands cuffed behind their backs and are tied together. They're wearing torn brown rags and matching pants held up with rope. They each have a chain around their ankles. The chain is connected to the wall, trapping them in the cell. They have white bracelets on that block their laws. Lorik pulls the bags off their heads. As soon as they see him, they each try speaking, but no sound comes out of their mouths. Sarah starts motioning to her collar with her shoulders. "I'll take those collars off later. For now, I need you to listen. I have a plan to get you out, but you need to trust me. I'll be putting these bags back on you, and you'll have to follow me. All right?" Lorik says before they each hesitantly nod. Lorik unlocks their ankle cuffs before putting the bags back over their heads. He helps them up and leads them out of the cell. He puts the guard's corpse in his ring and pushes the cart to the wall. Then he casts Hunter's vision and looks for the guard's auras. He realizes he should have done this sooner, but he wasn't thinking clearly. He leads them down the stairs and back to the ground floor. On their way back to the alley, Lorik sees a guard approaching. Before they turn the corner and see them, he pulls the others into a random doorway, leading to a group of empty cells. He's leading them with a rope tied around Sarah. It connects to Vera and Rowan behind her. They stumble a little, and Lorik whispers an apology while making sure they're out of sight. After waiting for the guard to pass, he continues. He goes around and hides from the other guards before finally getting back out to the alley. "How are you leaving? Won't there be checkpoints at the gates?" Nixfang asks. "Drake will take care of it," Lorik replies, both of them speaking with their souls. He then leads them down the alleys. He makes sure no one's looking whenever they have to run across a street. After 10 stressful minutes, they get to the south gate. Lorik finds Drake waiting next to a wagon. The exit is right next to it, and she smiles when she sees him. She has an empty vial and a white cup in her hand. "Son of a bitch, you really pulled it off. No alarms either," Drake says as Lorik quickly leads them to the wagon. "When have I ever failed a mission?" Lorik asks before helping them into the wagon. He doesn't untie them yet, just in case. "A few times, so don't act so smug. Still, it's impressive. Now follow the map I left you. You need to go south a ways before heading to the border out east. If you head straight there, they'll find you easily. I can't do more from here on out, so good luck. And you owe me a drink when I get back," Drake says before turning and leaving. Lorik gets the others in the wagon before getting in the driver's box. The wagon is full of boxes and has a white cover. Lorik cracks the reins, causing the 2 horses to start moving. They walk past the checkpoint where a sleeping guard is. Lorik assumes Drake snuck him a sleeping potion, which explains what she was holding. She took the cup to hide the evidence. After leaving the capital, Lorik grabs the leather bag next to him. Inside the bag is a rolled-up map, some food, and water. Most of the boxes in the wagon are empty and just for show. Lorik follows the map for an hour before pulling the wagon over on the side of the road. "All right, let's get those collars off," Lorik says while getting up. He turns around and steps into the wagon. Lorik walks up to Vera first and pulls off the bag. He messes around with the keys to find the one to unlock the collar. They're made of black leather held with a metal lock. Lorik's not sure what'll happen if he cuts it off, and he's not keen on finding out. After finding the right key and unlocking the collar, Vera turns to face him. "Lorik, how'd you get here?" she asks. "Let's wait until we're back on the road," Lorik replies before cutting the ropes tying her up. He unties Rowan next, and then Sarah. Here are your rings. Girls, change in here quickly. Rowan, come with me. Put on a cloak, Lorik says while getting off the wagon. He took out their storage rings and clothes from his ring, which he got from the prison. He put them down on a box, and Rowan followed him out after grabbing his. Lorik changes into a brown shirt and pants with a gray cloak. He pulls the hood up over his head. We're done, Sarah says from the wagon. Rowan climbs back in the back, rovily wearing a white cloak over a red shirt and brown shorts. Lorik climbs back into the driver's box. Vera, put your cat mask on. We need to hide your horns, Lorik says before cracking the reins. Lorik, how'd you get here? Sarah asks as Veria takes her mask out. Both girls are wearing blue cloaks over their clothes. Soren had a teleportation slab to Calvaris. I remembered seeing it a bunch of times as a kid, so I went and got it from him. Then Drake, another Night Eye who's spying on Calvaris, helped me with the wagon, Lorik replies. What's a teleportation slab? Vera asks. It's a small stone slab that, when crushed, teleports you to the capital. I don't know much more than that. Lorik replies. Why'd you come here? You could have died. Vera asks, causing Lorik to shrug. I'm used to that risk. Besides, they have devices to sense grand mages. Had Master or someone else come through, they'd have been attacked before they could do anything. And there's no way Soren would have given this to anyone else. Lorik replies as Vera climbs over and sits down next to him. There's a small wall acting as a backrest separating the wagon from the driver's box. Thank you, Vera whispers, while leaning her head against his shoulder. So what's the plan from here? Rowan asks after a moment. For now, head south. We'll turn east soon, but we need to wait. With any luck, they won't realize you've escaped until dawn. By then, the guard that Drake drugged will be awake. I doubt he'll report that they passed out on the job. Either way, we need to put as much distance as we can between us and the capital. Torvin and Soren should have attacked Calvaris' army with Master and King Eldrin by now, so they'll be focusing on that. Master will hopefully have had the army join the attack and start a big battle. We'll be sneaking in through that commotion. Lorik replies, How are we supposed to sneak in through a war zone? Sarah asks. We don't need to, not entirely at least. Lorik says while holding up his communications bracelet. Once we get close enough to the border, this will activate again. Master will be given its location, and she can come pick us up, Lorik adds. Does it not work outside the kingdom? Vera asks, a bit surprised. She assumed they'd work anywhere in the world. No, they need to connect to a network of laws. The network is created and maintained by a device in the capital, but there are various devices that help it travel across the kingdom. So it can easily cover the entire kingdom, but it can't go further. Since we can send messages instantly, other kingdoms fear we'd use it for our spies. So they don't let us set up these devices within their borders. Sarah explains. Oh yeah, I need you to remember this. If anyone asks, we're mercenaries. We'll be traveling down to the border to offer our services in the war. We need new names too. We can't use our real ones here. Lorik says. All right, call me Doran, Rowan says. I'll go with Kaida then, Sarah adds. Brynja, I guess, Vera says with a shrug. All right, call me Garruk, Lorik adds. Hang on, Lorik, what happened to your hair? Vera asks after lifting her head from his shoulder. She pulls his hood down to get a better look. What do you mean? Lorik asks back. You have patches of silverish gray in your hair now, Rowan says, noticing it now that Vera's pointed it out. Maybe my body's changing to suit my law now. I mean, Master's hair is purple, Lorik says. What level are you? Aren't you still 9th tier? Sarah asks, causing Lorik to chuckle. Well, before you guys got kidnapped, I went to some ruins that had a depiction of the invaders. I found an ancient lord, the Lord of Time, and he left behind a device. It filled me with pure soul power from the ancient lords. So after absorbing them, me and Nixfang both got to 5th tier, Lorik explains. Damn it, quit leveling up so fast. I'm still waiting for our rematch, Vera says, causing Lorik to laugh. Does anyone else know how to drive the wagon? Lorik asks after laughing. I do? Why? Rowan asks. Good, Rowan and Sarah, you two get some rest. We'll be swapping here at dawn. Drake got us the good stuff. Those reins have laws that heal the horses and restore their stamina. So, we're good to ride for hours and hours before letting them rest. So you'll be taking over when I sleep. Vera and Sarah, I want you two to switch out as guard. keeping an eye out for anyone or anything chasing us, Lorik explains. All right, we'll get some rest, Sarah says before she and Rowan move some boxes around. They clear a spot big enough to lay a blanket out and sleep on. Vera sits next to Lorik and rests her head on his shoulder again. After about an hour, Lorik checks and sees she's sleeping. Instead of waking her back up, Lorik smiles faintly and gently pats her head between her now invisible horns. Get some rest. You've been through a lot, he whispers to her.